we're not growing as a channel.
Previously, I love Jasmyn.
Nothing. I ain't trying to know my car. My hair is possibly damaged. So. Okay. We have protein waffles from Jimmy Dean. They just brought out new protein waffles, cinnamon flavored. Now I don't know if they were making waffles before this or not. I just know it says new on the box. I got it. The very first time I cooked them, I fell asleep. I was that tired, I fell asleep. And then I woke up like 30 to 45 minutes later. And I'm like, oh, my waffles, because we don't own a toaster. So I put them in the oven at 400 degrees, and you were only supposed to put them in there for about 6 to 8 minutes or to your crispiness. The smell those waffles made. Child, when I say it smelled horrible, my waffles were black, charcoal type black, like no color, very dry, started to shrink up a little bit.
I was in the pool! I was in the pool!
Unfortunately, there is no footage. Okay, but anywho. I also feel like God gave me a perspective change. Okay, I had to finish eating real quick because child, I was hungry. This is the shake. Currently about to consume. I got it because it has like a lot of good stuff in there. I don't think I shook it vigorously enough. I think that was vigorous. I just had over 500 calories. I want to say the waffles were $2.40. This is $2.50. So we're at $4.90. And then the eggs are $60 a piece, so $1.80. So $4.90 plus $1.80. $4.90 plus $1.80. $90, $80.
What's going on?
I don't know why I'm struggling with that. I know it's 7.
Huh?
17.
Your intellect is as weak as your dollar.
Okay, so, ooh, my goodness. Okay, let's try again. $4.90 plus $1.80, $6.70. So 670 calories. Actually, a little bit more because I had syrup. So a little over 670 calories. 58 grams of protein. That's pretty good. And did y'all see, other than my struggle with the math portion for a little bit,
You are made of stupid.
but did we see how I can now calculate my meals just from memory? Because we eat eggs all the time. Because we eat and drink protein shakes all the time. So I can't do that with every meal, but I was able to do that with that meal. And it's me learning in real time. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, is learning in real time. But not just learning in real time by itself, but I want to teach you the importance of being in the moment, self-reflecting, and being honest with yourself. Because when you are able to recognize that something about this moment is a aha moment, something about this lesson allowed me to really learn. I don't recall at the moment exactly how the thought process started in my mind. I was in silence. I went and sat outside for a little bit, had my woosy woe, got in the shower, me and my thoughts. And God allowed me to have an aha moment. And He connected it biblically for me so that I could get the full grasp of things. And so that is, what is your vision going to cost you? Because everything has a cost. And so that was and is a question I am still sitting on, because later on I'm actually going to sit and write out what is my vision completely. Because your girl, I love to tell God, like this is me being an honest moment. I love to tell God the type of sex life I want to have. Like when I dream about my future, 9 times out of 10, maybe even 9.5 out of 10, it is about the type of husband and sex life I want to have. Very rarely do I vision, and when I say vision, I mean like visualize, because of course I have other goals, aspirations, and dreams aside from that, and that I have written down and I have said I want it. But visually, I have not connected what I have said and what I have wrote with what I see. And that's the problem. But the lesson that I learned and how I learned it, that's how I learned it. My hair. I believe I have told you already, but if I haven't, then I don't like my hair. And I was so disappointed in the outcome of my hair and my experience that I have now mentally, physically, visually declared that I will never get my hair braided again by someone else unless they specialize in natural hair and have natural hair themselves. That's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. And even still with that, they are going to have the most amazing views I have ever seen in my entire life. And even still, when it comes to getting my hair braided, I probably won't go often, and I definitely will not be going anytime soon, because the way my head still feels today. I got my hair done on Sunday. It is now Wednesday, and my head still hurts. And I'm not even talking about like internally. Like I did have a headache the first day, but I mean like outwardly, my head is so sore. And so that also scares me, because it's like, if my head is sore like this, days later, how much hair was she taking out? Back to the story. I've made a lot of peace with it. It is what it is. However my hair look when it's time for these to come out, it's just how my hair is going to look, and we're going to take care of it. Because one thing I have certainly taught myself through action is that we're going to figure it out. I have had so many life experiences, and I'm still here. And I didn't even always know, most of the time, I didn't even know what was really waiting on the other side of my decision. I would just jump. And it all worked out. And it has always worked out. But it has always cost me something. God reminded me of Joseph. Joseph had visions, and he shared his dream/visions with his family. And his vision was accurate. He was definitely tapped in. However, it cost him. Because your vision, your dream is going to cost you something. And most of the time, it's not fun to pay it. It's not fun to pay the cost. However, one could say, and would say, that they are grateful and they are thankful that they did pay it, because now they know. And so when I looked myself in the mirror with my hair, I said, well, how much did it cost you to learn that lesson? Regarding, don't go to a hair braider, hairstylist if they are not natural themselves and work mainly with natural customers. Yes, the cost is going to be more. It's going to cost you something, but you are going to be so grateful and you're going to be so thankful. And so on the flip side of that, I said, well, you know what, Lord, I didn't spend a whole lot of money to learn this lesson. Look at me learning in real time. It only took the second time for me to have a bad experience with braids for me to say, okay, no, no ma'am. And I said, oh, if I am going to live a long time, like I hope and I pray that I do, then in the grand scheme of things, I learned this lesson at a very young age. And most people will say, man, I wish I could go back in time with the knowledge that I now have. People say it all the time. Or some people be like, oh, you lucky, you learned your lesson early in life. Yes, because repeating the same lesson over and over and over again gets draining and it gets tiring. And it, in that sense, delays what it is that you really, really want. But I will say, no matter what happens within those delays, it's also kind of a blessing, because you learn more and more and more. So yes, somebody can learn a lesson quick, but another person, because they have had that lesson so many different times, sometimes they learn more. So sometimes it's better to learn the same lesson over and over again, because now you see so many different sides of it where you're able to have a more complete picture. So if you are somebody who it took a little longer than most to learn a lesson, don't beat yourself up, because you now know more. You done heard it so many different times, so many different ways, repeatedly for so many years now. then now you know more than the person who learned quick, because maybe 10 years from now, the person who learned quick won't be able to remember much of what they actually learned then. But you, because you've been doing it time after time after time, you know it. And so 10 years from now, oh, that's easy. You know? So that's what God put on me to share. And I hope it encourages you. But I also hope that it causes you to really take a moment to stop and be in the now and figure out what your vision is. Because if you don't know what your vision is yet, then that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. However, you're going to have to learn more because God is going to allow life to take you through so many different paths and directions until you can finally figure out what it is that you want. How do you learn that you like a certain food better than others? By trying all the others. That's how you figure it out. Sometimes you just got to try things out. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just got to try things out. You got to figure out what it is that you like. But at some point, you're going to come across the same feelings or thoughts or patterns where you should be self-aware enough to tap into and say, oh, okay, hey, this is the pattern. So yeah, that's where maturity comes into play. Because if you're doing the same thing 20, 30 years from now, why are you not growing? Life is about growth. It's about learning. It's about, you know, we got seasons, we have cycles. I'm not saying all year round, every single year you should just be, you know, but if you look at the seasons, there's a time when they rest and it's a time when they get their ass up. Like, you know, so fall, you know, you're starting to get a little relaxed. Winter hit, you relaxing. You're not producing anything right now. It's a reprieve, okay? You done worked hard. Spring come, you start getting your ass up. Summer, it's hot as you don't know what, and they got you, like, you working. You know, so think of yourself the same way, your productivity. I'm not saying that you would be the same. Like some things thrive in the wintertime, whereas they go on summer vacation. So it's just determining and trying to figure out, you know. So yeah, bottom line is figure out who you are fast, or as fast as you can, so that it doesn't hurt as bad and you get to what you actually want a lot faster, and you won't waste your time with all the stuff that you don't know if you like or you don't like, because you don't really know what you want in the first place. All right. Like I told y'all, God will confirm. Don't reach for what you can see. Ask God for what you want and wait. It won't be easy. It's going to cost you something, but it'll be good. It will be well worth the cost. God is good.
3 days later. Later that night.
I'm staring at you eye to eye.
Twenty-four hours later.
Definitely looks like a roller coaster.
Like a roller coaster.
Mommy,
Think big, bitch. I gotta go.